Hello guys, welcome back to my another video. Today I'm just giving some is there something related to the David Goggins. As I have today watched the podcast of the David Goggins and what he says, what he believes in. He's known as the toughest man alive in this world, and he has a psychiatric mindset. He has a psychiatric mindset. He's one of the obsessed person in the universe. And today I have today I have watched the video of David Goggins and what he says, and today I'm planning to read as well Can Thought Me. And I'll later study, I will literally reading that, I'll later read that Can Thought Me. But firstly, let me tell you some what David Goggins said in that video. And some person asked me, what do you constantly say you when you are failing? And David Goggins replied to that person, saying that, what if I can pull this up? What if I can do that? What if I can be the person that nobody thinks that I can be? And David Goggins says that you have to do it. That sucks. Whenever it sucks, it's time to be great. It's time to achieve great thing. And there is no particular hacks in life. There's no particular hacks in life. You have to do it. And he says that repeatedly, doing that, do that, and the more it sucks, the more you grow, and you basically have to sacrifice something to gain something. And he mentioned that, and he constantly says that you have to do it, and you have to invent a guy that can take any pain, any suffering, any kind of judgment. And you have to be mm, you have to be great. And you have to be fail. You have to be fail and fail again. And after that, you earn. Firstly, you cannot you nobody can win. Nobody can win in a single attempt. And later on, after the repetitive process, after the several time of tries, peoples can be great at something at a particular field. And he mentioned that. And I like the mindset of that David Goggins. And he says that if you can, in whenever you say that you have completed your tasks, it's the 45 is not completed. It's halfway there. And whenever you assume that I have given my 100%, the 40% of your true capabilities, you have used that. You haven't used the full capabilities. You haven't used the full abilities to do the best, to give the best, and to do something. And that's all. And David Goggins repeatedly say that if you don't like that, you basically have to force your brain to just to be familiar with the terms that you are not engaging with. You have to be great at something. And David Goggins mentioned that you have you have to invent a guy, and you have to just come out of the comfort, and you have to go you have to do something in the morning time. And you have to have a passion, and you have to have a guide. And you should have one true desire to be great. Without anyone, with the motivation, there is no terms called motivation, is the David Goggins mentioned. And I like that there is no motivation, I think so personally as well. But and he says discipline every single time. And he had lost 306 pound in less than the 3 month. And he's a retired Navy SEAL as well as a motivational speaker. In the beginning, he was a black guy from some, I don't know, from some parts of America, and he was that kind of person, bully and racism and all the things that goes wrong. And he cannot read and write while in the early phase of childhood. And he had to constantly sit for an hours there and to learn things that takes 2 to 3 minutes for an average person. He had to constantly just go through the page and write over and over again to learn that stuff. And just I watched the podcast. He says that he mentioned that. And nothing to say much. And I recommend you to just watch to the David Goggins and what is the mentality and how he becomes the toughest man. And he has a world records, world Guinness record, world Guinness record of pulling push-ups, pulling push-ups as well. And my mom bringing some chocolates over me. Some after the completion of the video, I'll be consuming that. And we have to be great. And that's all the David Goggins. We shall have the mentality, we shall have the first mentality, and we shall work on something to be great. And that's for today. And I will meeting you, I'll be catching with you after some days. Okay, have a good day, enjoy your day, hope and enjoy your day. And don't be sad, and just learn to enjoy the process. Okay, bye, stay hard.